They say you never realize the value of something until it's gone. But what if you were the one they never forgot? What if, long after you've left, your presence still echoed in their mind? It's not about manipulation. It's about leaving a lasting impact. Today, we're diving into 10 powerful ways to make them miss you. Not with tricks or gimmicks, but with timeless Stoic principles that shape how people remember you. These aren't temporary tactics. They're life-changing habits that will make you unforgettable. They say storms reveal the strength of a ship, not the calm seas. And in life, it's your ability to stay composed. Not when things are easy, but when everything goes wrong. That truly defines you. That's why mastering your emotions is the first step to becoming unforgettable. Here's the truth. Most people are ruled by their emotions. Frustration, anger, jealousy, and fear take control, and before they know it, they're saying things they regret or making rash decisions that cost them. But the Stoics saw emotions differently. They didn't view anger or fear as bad. Instead, they believed that the real danger was being controlled by those emotions. Think about it. You can't stop the wind from blowing, but you can adjust your sails. The same goes for emotions. You don't have to get rid of them, but you do have to master how you respond to them. The difference between reacting and responding is simple. Reaction is instinct. Response is intention. So, how do you master your emotions? Here's a Stoic exercise that you can try today. When you feel anger, frustration, or sadness creeping in, do this. Pause. Don't act. Don't speak. Don't post that angry message. Breathe deeply. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. It's simple, but powerful. Ask yourself one question. Is this within my control? If it is, act on it wisely. If it's not, let it go. This is where most people fail. They react to things they have zero control over, like someone's opinion, bad weather, or delays. But here's the secret. The person who stays calm while everyone else is panicking becomes a leader. People notice. People remember. They'll say, when everything was falling apart, they stayed steady. That's unforgettable. Even on a personal level, you'll notice a shift. When you master your emotions, you don't just feel stronger, you become stronger. Small irritations don't bother you as much. Negative people can't drag you down. And those who try to provoke you, they lose all their power over you. It's not easy. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." That's the heart of emotional mastery. Not being a slave to anger, fear, or doubt. It's knowing that you have the power to choose your response every single time. So, next time someone pushes your buttons, or the world throws chaos your way, remember this. You don't have to react. You can pause, breathe, and choose your response. People will see it. People will feel it. And trust me, when you're gone, they'll miss having someone like that around. Here's a harsh truth. The more you chase people's approval, the less they respect you. Let that sink in for a moment. We live in a world driven by likes, comments, and followers. But ask yourself this. Do you want to be remembered for being popular, or for being purposeful? See, the Stoics had a simple rule. Live according to your values, not according to applause. The moment you start making decisions based on what others think, you hand over control of your life. You become a puppet to opinions that change with every trend. But when you live with purpose, a clear, steady purpose, you become unshakable. What does it mean to live with purpose? It means knowing what truly matters to you, and letting that guide every choice you make. Your purpose isn't a job title. It's not a dream goal you chase. It's deeper than that. Purpose is about values. Courage, integrity, growth, kindness, wisdom. These are your North Stars. Now, most people don't have a clear purpose. They're just moving from one thing to the next, following whatever gets them the most attention or validation. But think about the people you admire most. Do they follow trends, or do they create them? Do they live for applause, or do they live for something bigger? When you walk with purpose, people will notice. They might not understand you at first. Some might even criticize you, because you're no longer fitting in. But that's okay. When you're on the path of purpose, you realize you're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out. And that makes people uncomfortable. Why? Because most people are lost. Here's a story to think about. Imagine two hikers. One of them is wandering aimlessly, looking for the perfect path. The other knows exactly where they're headed. They don't waste time worrying about the rocks, the weather, or the noise from the crowd. They keep moving forward. That's the power of purpose. The hiker with direction moves with confidence. The other, they're stuck, wondering if they're on the right path. People will miss you for this. Why? Because when you walk with purpose, you give them something rare, a sense of certainty. Most people don't know where they're going, but when they see someone who does, they pay attention. Even if they don't say it, they feel it. And when you're gone, they'll miss that sense of direction you brought into their lives. Here's how you can start living with purpose today. Define your values. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? Write it down. Courage, growth, honesty, clarity starts with definition. Stop chasing validation. If you're making a decision, ask, am I doing this because it's right or because it's popular? Stick to your path, even when it's hard. Walking with purpose means you won't always get applause. In fact, sometimes people will criticize you for not following the crowd. Good, that means you're doing it right. Remember this, approval is temporary, but purpose is timeless. People may forget the person who always tried to fit in, but they'll never forget the one who stood tall, walked their own path, and inspired others to do the same. So, walk with purpose, not for the likes, not for the applause, but for something greater, something rooted in values that no one can take from you. When you live this way, people won't just notice, they'll miss you when you're gone. When emotions run high, people don't need more noise. They need reason. They need clarity, not chaos. And here's the thing, most people don't realize how rare that is. Think about the last time you were in a stressful situation. Maybe at work, in a family argument, or even just scrolling through social media. What did you see? Probably a lot of people reacting, venting, blaming, or panicking. But in that storm of emotions, who stands out? It's the one person who stays calm, steady, and clear-headed. That's the voice of reason. The Stoics believed in this deeply. They taught that when chaos surrounds you, your duty is to stay rational, to be a calm harbor in the middle of a storm. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Most people try to control the storm. They yell at it, complain about it, or try to outshout it. But a Stoic knows that you don't control the storm, you control your mind. You become the calm in it. So, how do you be the voice of reason in everyday life? Don't add fuel to the fire. When you see others getting emotional, angry, panicked, or irrational, resist the urge to match their energy. Instead, slow down, take a breath before you speak. Ask yourself, does my reaction help or hurt this situation? Ask questions instead of giving opinions. Instead of jumping in with your opinion, ask thoughtful questions like, what's the bigger picture here? Or is this something we can control? This shifts the conversation from panic to perspective. Focus on solutions, not blame. It's easy to blame people or get stuck in why it happened. But the voice of reason says, all right, it happened. Now, what's next? People will naturally gravitate toward someone with this mindset. Here's the secret. People remember the person who stays calm under pressure. In the moment, everyone's too busy reacting. But when the dust settles, they think back and say, that person was different. They stayed steady when the rest of us lost it. And that's when people start coming to you for guidance. They'll ask for your advice, your perspective, your insight. Not because you're loud, not because you're popular, but because you're wise. And when you're not around, that calm presence is missed. People crave stability, even if they don't realize it. But here's the catch. It's not easy. It's easy to be loud. It's easy to join the outrage. But being the calm, clear voice takes strength. That's why so few people do it. Here's something you can try today. The next time you see people arguing, panicking, or overreacting, pause, don't jump in. Observe. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, how can I bring clarity to this? Not more drama, not more conflict, just clarity. And if you do that consistently, people will notice. They'll trust you. And when you're not around, they'll miss it. So remember this. You don't have to control the storm. You just have to be the calm within it. That's what it means to be the voice of reason. We all know life is short. But let's be honest, how many people actually live like it? We get caught up in the future, stressing about things that may never happen. Or we get stuck in the past, replaying moments we can't change. And while we're busy doing that, the present moment quietly slips away. This is where the Stoic practice of memento mori comes in. It means, quite literally, remember, you must die. Sounds dark, right? But it's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. It's a reminder that life is fragile, fleeting, and precious. When you hold this awareness close, it shifts everything. Suddenly, you stop wasting time on petty arguments, pointless worries, and mindless distractions. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, the present moment. Here's the thing. Most people walk through life like they have an unlimited supply of days. But when you embrace memento mori, every day becomes a gift. Every conversation, every hug, every sunrise becomes something you savor, not something you rush through. And here's the part most people miss. Gratitude is contagious. When you live with gratitude and presence, people feel it. It's in the way you listen without distraction, the way you appreciate the small things, the warmth of the sun, a simple meal, or even just being able to breathe. People notice it, even if they don't say it out loud. They feel seen, they feel valued, and that energy stays with them long after you've left. Think about it. How often have you met someone who's truly present with you? Not checking their phone, not thinking about their next move, but fully with you. It's rare. That's why it's memorable. People don't just remember your words or your actions, they remember how you made them feel. And when you live in the spirit of memento mori, you make people feel truly seen, valued, and appreciated. But how do you actually practice this in your daily life? Here are some Stoic exercises to bring memento mori into your world. Start each morning with this question. If today were my last day, how would I live it? You'd be surprised how quickly this cuts away the trivial stuff. Practice gratitude at the end of each day. Before you sleep, reflect on 3 moments that you're grateful for. Big or small, it doesn't matter. The point is to notice them. When you feel frustration rising, ask yourself, will this matter at the end of my life? 9 times out of 10, it won't. So, let it go. Living with gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means being aware of the gift of life, even when things aren't perfect. The Stoics didn't sugarcoat life. They faced it head-on. They knew pain, suffering, and loss were inevitable. But instead of running from it, they leaned into it. And that's how they found peace. When you live this way, people notice. They'll say things like, "You're always so calm," or "You see the good in everything." What they're really saying is, "You remind me of something I've forgotten." That life is precious. When you're gone, people won't miss the gifts you gave them or the things you bought them. They'll miss how you made them feel. And if you live with gratitude, they'll remember you as someone who made them feel truly seen, truly appreciated, and truly present. So remember, memento mori, not as a warning, but as a reminder to be fully alive. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like people only reach out when they need something? They know you'll say yes. They know you'll drop everything for them. At first, it feels good. You feel helpful, important, like you're someone they can count on. But over time, it starts to feel like something else. Exhaustion. This is why the Stoic approach is so powerful. It's not about being selfish or cutting people off. It's about knowing the difference between being reliable and being constantly available. Here's the truth. If people know they can have access to you whenever they want, they stop appreciating it. It becomes expected, not valued. But if you're someone who is known for showing up when it truly matters, your presence becomes more meaningful. People recognize it as a gift, not a given. Think about it. If a friend texts you every single day, and you respond instantly every time, they get used to it. But the day you don't reply right away, they start asking, "Hey, everything okay?" Why? Because they got used to instant access to you. But here's a better way to live. Be reliable, but not always available. That doesn't mean ghosting people or being cold. It means you have boundaries. It means you choose when to give your time and energy, instead of letting other people choose for you. The Stoics believed in this idea of controlling what you can control. And guess what? Your time is one of those things. You can't control how much people ask of you, but you can control how much you give. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "If you seek tranquility, do less." He didn't mean to be lazy. He meant to focus on what truly matters. Not every text needs a reply. Not every favor needs a yes. Not every person deserves your attention at all times. So, how do you apply this Stoic wisdom in your life? Here's how. Start saying no without guilt. If someone asks for your time, don't answer right away. Pause. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Will it drain me or fulfill me? If it drains you, you're allowed to say no. No excuses, no over-explaining. Just no, I can't right now. Create focus time for yourself. This could be 1 to 2 hours a day where you go completely unavailable. No texts, no calls, no interruptions. During this time, you focus on your goals, your peace, and your priorities. Be clear about your availability. People won't respect your time unless you do. If you answer messages at midnight, people will keep messaging you at midnight. Set boundaries like "I don't respond after 8 p.m. or "I'm offline on Sundays." Watch how people start to respect it. Here's the catch though: at first, people won't like it. If they're used to having instant access to you, they'll resist. They might even call you unavailable or distant. But that's not your problem. The people who truly value you will adjust. They'll learn to cherish your presence because it's no longer unlimited. And here's the best part. They'll miss you when you're not available 24/7. People realize how much they relied on you. They'll say, "I miss having them around." Or they always know what to say. Why? Because you're no longer a background presence. You've become intentional, memorable, and rare. So, don't be afraid to protect your time. Don't be afraid to say no. Be reliable, yes. Show up for the people you love, but don't be on call for the whole world. You are not an emergency hotline. Your time is sacred, and if you guard it well, people will come to respect it, and they'll miss it when it's gone. Be reliable, but not always available. It's not selfish. It's Stoic wisdom. In a world where instant gratification is king, living by your values is a quiet act of rebellion. Most people chase comfort, shortcuts, and convenience. And why wouldn't they? It's easier, faster, and feels good in the moment. But here's the thing about chasing pleasure. It fades just as quickly as it comes. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They believed in living by virtue, not by pleasure. Virtue, doing the right thing, even when it's difficult. Pleasure, doing what feels good, even if it costs you in the long run. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Simple, right? But simple doesn't mean easy. Because let's be honest, it's hard to stay true to your values when temptation is everywhere. It's hard to be honest when a lie would be more convenient. It's hard to stay disciplined when everyone else is taking the easy way out. But that's the point. Virtue isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be meaningful. And it's that meaning that makes people miss you when you're gone. Here's why. When you live by your values, you become a person people can count on. They know you won't betray them for quick pleasure or temporary gain. They know you'll stand firm, even when it's uncomfortable. People don't forget that. Reliability is rare, and rare things are missed. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they the ones who chase every impulse, who flip-flop on their beliefs, and break promises when things get tough? No, the people you respect are the ones who stand firm, even when it's hard. They don't just follow the crowd, they lead by example. Here's an example. Imagine two people at work. One cuts corners, takes shortcuts, and blames others when things go wrong. The other stays late to finish what they started, owns their mistakes, and always tells the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Which one do you remember? Which one do you respect? Exactly. It's the one who lives by their values. The one who doesn't fold under pressure. And if that person ever left the job, people would say, "Man, I miss having them around." Not because they were perfect, but because they were reliable, honest, true. But here's the challenge. Living by your values isn't just about big, dramatic moments. It's about the small, everyday choices. It's choosing honesty when it would be easier to lie. It's keeping your word, even when no one would know you broke it. It's choosing discipline over laziness, even when no one is watching. So how do you live by virtue, not pleasure? Clarify your core values. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be remembered as? Honest, kind, disciplined, courageous. Write them down. If you don't define your values, the world will define them for you. Pause before you act. When you face a choice, like lying, giving up, or taking a shortcut, pause. Ask yourself, is this aligned with my values, or am I chasing quick pleasure? This pause is powerful. It gives you time to think, not react. Do the hard thing. Every day, there's a choice to avoid discomfort, or face it head on. Choose to face it. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And as a bonus, people around you will notice. They'll respect it. They'll remember it. Here's the secret. Living by your values isn't just about being a good person. It's also about being memorable. People forget those who live for pleasure, but they never forget those who stand for something. People will remember how you made them feel, how you stayed true when others didn't, and how you led by example. So be the person who stays honest, even when it's easier to lie. Be the person who chooses patience over impulse. Be the person who stands for something, even if you stand alone. Because when you do that, people won't just miss you when you're gone. They'll never forget you. Live by your values, not because it's easy, not because it's popular, but because it's the only way to live with peace, clarity, and purpose. There are two kinds of people in this world. Those who fight reality, and those who embrace it. The Stoics believed that peace isn't found in controlling the world. It's found in accepting it. And that's where the principle of amor fati comes in. Amor fati means to love your fate, not just to accept it, but to embrace it wholeheartedly. The good, the bad, the unexpected, and even the painful. It's the understanding that everything that happens, even the things we don't want, is part of a bigger story. And the sooner you stop fighting it, the sooner you can move forward. Think about it. How often do we waste energy saying, "This shouldn't be happening," or "Why me?" But here's the truth. Reality doesn't care how you feel about it. You can resist it, complain about it, or try to run from it. But it's still there. And while you're busy fighting it, life keeps moving forward without you. But the person who lives by amor fati, they don't waste time resisting. They face life head-on with calm grace, and maybe even a small smile. They accept everything that comes their way, not as something to fight, but as something to grow from. And because of that, they move faster, they grow stronger, and they find peace where others find chaos. Here's the thing, it's not easy. No one wants to love failure, heartbreak, or rejection. But here's a Stoic secret. You don't have to love the pain itself. You love what it can do for you, the lesson, the growth, the transformation. That's what you embrace. Marcus Aurelius said, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." That's the essence of amor fati. Life throws in failure. You turn it into growth. Life throws in rejection. You turn it into redirection. Life throws in pain. You turn it into strength. Here's how you can practice amor fati in your daily life. Stop saying "Why me?" and start saying "What can I learn from this?" When something bad happens, your first instinct might be to complain. But complaints change nothing. The Stoic response is to ask better questions, instead of "Why me?" Ask, what's the opportunity here? Maybe it's patience, maybe it's courage, but it's always something. Reframe setbacks as stepping stones. Lost a job, reframe it. It's not the end of the road, it's a new direction. relationship ended, it's not just heartbreak. It's an opportunity to reconnect with yourself. Reframing doesn't make the pain disappear, but it gives it purpose. And when pain has purpose, it's easier to bear. Practice radical acceptance. This doesn't mean you give up. It means you face the truth without denial. If the storm is coming, there's no point in yelling at the clouds. Grab an umbrella. If you fail a test, accept it. Study harder. If life throws you a curveball, stop complaining and start adjusting. Accepting reality doesn't make you weak. It makes you adaptable. Visualize challenges before they happen. Premeditatiu malorum. This is a Stoic practice where you mentally prepare for worst-case scenarios before they happen. Why? Because if you've already faced it in your mind, it won't shock you when it happens. You're ready, you're calm, you're composed. Life can't catch you off guard if you've already prepared for it. Here's the powerful part. People will notice. When others are stressed, you'll be calm. When others are frustrated, you'll be focused. When others are complaining, you'll be the one saying, "All right, what's next?" And that's why they'll miss you. People gravitate toward those who make them feel safe in the storm. If you're the person who stays calm, stays focused, and stays grateful, no matter what life throws your way, people will notice. They'll rely on you. They'll miss you when you're gone. Here's the takeaway. Stop fighting reality. Love it, instead. Embrace it like an old friend who's come to teach you something. The next time life gets tough, say to yourself, "Amor fati, I love this too." It won't be easy, but the Stoics never promised it would be. They only promised it would be worth it. So, when life throws you pain, rejection, or failure, be the fire that turns it all into fuel. Love your fate. Not just the good parts. Not just the easy parts. All of it. Have you ever noticed how people tend to complain when things go wrong? It's human nature. It feels good to vent, to release that frustration. But here's the catch. Complaints don't leave a lasting impact. They're fleeting, like a gust of wind that's gone the moment it's here. But wisdom, that sticks. Wisdom is the seed planted in someone's mind that grows long after you've walked away. Wisdom endures. It transforms, not just your own life, but the lives of those around you. And that's what the Stoics understood. When life goes off course, most people react emotionally. They complain, they vent, they spiral. But the Stoics didn't join in. They didn't waste time complaining about things outside of their control. Instead, they focused on offering insight. Something that could help them, and others, rise above the problem. Think about this. Let's say a friend is upset because they didn't get the promotion they wanted. It's easy to say, "That's terrible. I'm sorry. That's unfair." And yes, it's compassionate. But is that really helpful? No. It's validating, sure, but it's not empowering. Now, imagine if, instead of joining in their frustration, you asked, "What can you do next? What steps can you take to improve? How can you make yourself more prepared for the next opportunity?" You see, complaints don't create solutions. Wisdom does. When you offer wisdom, you guide someone. You don't just provide them with temporary relief. You give them a path forward. You show them that there's more to the situation than just the frustration in the moment. You help them see that even in difficulty, there is always a choice, always a way to move forward. The same goes for the workplace. Let's say your coworker is stressing out about an overwhelming project. The usual response might be to join in and say, "Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know how we're going to get this done, but does that help?" No, it just amplifies the stress. Instead, try this. "I know it's tough, but let's focus on what we can control. What's the next step we can take? What can we accomplish right now?" By offering wisdom, you shift the narrative. You guide people back to their power, to the things they can control, to the steps they can take. And that's memorable. Now, you might be wondering, why is this so important? Why not just offer comfort and sympathy like everyone else? Here's why. When you offer wisdom instead of complaints, you provide direction. Complaints bond you with others through shared negativity. Wisdom bonds you with others through shared growth. And people remember the growth. They remember the wisdom that helped them find clarity in the chaos. Here's the simple truth. Wisdom isn't just about offering answers. It's about asking the right questions. It's about shifting the focus from the problem to the solution. Complaints keep the focus on what's wrong. Wisdom helps people focus on what can be done. Here's how you can start offering wisdom instead of complaints. Shift your perspective. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? How can I help? This small mindset shift makes a huge difference. Ask guiding questions. Instead of offering sympathy or venting, ask questions like, what's in your control? Or what's the next step? Help others realize that they are not helpless. Lead by example. When you face challenges, instead of complaining, show resilience. Talk about how you're tackling the situation and what you're learning from it. Your actions will speak volumes. People will always remember your wisdom, because wisdom gives them something to hold on to long after the moment has passed. When you offer a guiding light, instead of getting caught up in the darkness, others will be drawn to you. And when you're not around, they'll miss that wisdom. They'll miss the clarity you brought into their chaos. So, the next time life throws you or someone else a curveball, pause before reacting. Don't dive into the complaint pool with everyone else. Instead, offer insight, guidance, and a path forward. Help them see that even in difficulty, there's a way out. Because when you offer wisdom, you don't just help others. You become the person people miss when you're gone. Offer wisdom, not complaints. Because wisdom doesn't just soothe, it transforms. Self-growth isn't just about learning new skills or gaining knowledge. It's about evolving, becoming a better version of yourself each day. It's a journey that requires continuous effort, discipline, and, most importantly, intent. People don't always notice the small steps you take every day. The books you read, the habits you form, the lessons you learn. Those things may seem invisible in the moment. But over time, when you look back at your own transformation, the difference becomes clear. And here's the thing, when people see that growth in you, they'll notice it too. It's not about trying to impress others, but about creating something that's magnetic and inspiring. Most people stay stuck. They live in patterns of comfort, replaying the same habits, the same routines, and the same mindset. And when you grow, you start to outpace them. That's when things get interesting. Growth creates distance. Now, distance isn't a bad thing. It's natural. When you're constantly improving, there's no way everyone can keep up. And that's where things get uncomfortable for some. Some might feel threatened, others might feel left behind. But here's the truth. You can't stop growing just to make others comfortable. When you prioritize self-growth, you'll eventually find yourself in a place where not everyone can relate to you. They may not understand the path you're on, the decisions you're making, or the direction you're headed, and that's okay. Growth requires you to break free from the crowd and take a different path. But here's the catch. When you grow, you create space between yourself and others, and people notice that absence. They'll miss the person you used to be, the one who is at the same level, stuck in the same patterns. And that's when they'll realize what they've lost. The inspiration you brought, the drive you had, and the potential you showed. But don't let that discourage you. Let it be a reminder that growth is your purpose. Every step you take forward is one step closer to your true potential. The ones who are meant to grow with you will catch up, and the others, they'll wish they had. Here's why you should prioritize self-growth, no matter what. It builds confidence. The more you grow, the more you realize your potential. You start to trust yourself, your instincts, and your abilities. This confidence radiates outward, and it's magnetic. It sets an example. People are inspired by those who are constantly improving. You become a role model, even if you don't realize it. Your commitment to self-growth encourages others to look at their own lives and ask, how can I improve? It creates opportunities. When you invest in yourself, you unlock new opportunities. You'll attract people who are on the same growth path, opportunities that challenge you, and experiences that shape you. It prepares you for the future. Life will throw challenges your way, but if you're prioritizing self-growth, you're always ready. You're mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared to face whatever comes. It builds resilience. Growth isn't always easy. You'll face setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles. But with every challenge, you become stronger, more resilient. Your growth is proof of your ability to rise above adversity. So don't ever stop growing. Whether it's working on your skills, mindset, or emotional intelligence, keep evolving. It's not about leaving others behind. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. You'll inspire others to grow, and they may wish they'd kept up with you along the way. The bottom line is this: self-growth creates space, not just between you and others, but between who you are now and who you're becoming. When you prioritize your own growth, people will miss the person you used to be. They'll miss the spark you brought into their lives, and that's when they'll realize just how far you've come. Keep growing, keep evolving, because when you focus on your own progress, you make the world around you a little better, too. This might just be the most important principle on our list. Leave people better than you found them. It sounds simple, but it has a profound impact, not just on others, but on your own legacy. Think about it. How many people have you met in your life who left an imprint on you? Not because they had fame, fortune, or flashy accomplishments, but because they made you feel like you could be better. They shared something with you that transformed your perspective. They helped you grow. They made your life a little brighter. Now, imagine if you could be that person for someone else. Every time you meet someone, whether it's a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger, what if you made their day a little better? What if you left them feeling a bit more hopeful, a little wiser, or with just a little more clarity in their mind? It's easy to get wrapped up in our own lives, to focus solely on what we need or what's going wrong. But one of the most powerful things we can do is shift the focus from ourselves to the impact we have on others. When you leave someone better than you found them, you give them something that stays with them long after you've parted ways. You don't have to give grand speeches or perform heroic acts. Sometimes, it's the small, everyday things that make the biggest difference. Here's how you can start doing this today. Give your full attention. In a world full of distractions, attention is the greatest gift you can give someone. When someone speaks to you, truly listen. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Engage with what they're saying. A genuine conversation can change someone's perspective or even their day. That kind of presence makes a lasting impact. Share your lessons. We all have experiences that have shaped us, lessons that have helped us grow. Don't keep that knowledge to yourself. Share it. When someone is struggling or looking for advice, offer what you've learned. Don't hold back because you think your insights aren't valuable. The things you've learned the hard way might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Lift others up. Every time you can, try to build others up. Whether it's through encouragement, praise, or support, your words and actions can help someone feel seen, appreciated, and motivated. The smallest compliment, a note of encouragement, or a pat on the back can help someone feel more confident and ready to face their challenges. Be compassionate. Compassion is one of the most powerful ways to leave people better. We all face difficulties, but not everyone has the strength or support to deal with them. Sometimes, just showing kindness and understanding can change someone's entire outlook. Offer empathy, even if you don't fully understand their situation. Just knowing someone cares can make a world of difference. Help them see their potential. Sometimes, people just need to be reminded of their worth and their potential. Help others see the greatness within themselves. Remind them that they're capable of achieving more than they think. Encourage them to take that leap, to push beyond their limitations. Sometimes, the right words at the right time can spark a transformation. Remember, it's not about grand gestures. It's about consistency. Every small interaction you have with someone is an opportunity to make a difference. Whether it's how you listen, the wisdom you share, or the kindness you offer, it all adds up. The real magic happens when people walk away from you feeling better than they did before. They might not always remember exactly what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel, and when they look back, they'll realize that in some way, you left them with something valuable. They'll miss the way you made them feel inspired, hopeful, and stronger. So, make it a point to leave every person you meet a little better than you found them. Because when you do, you create a ripple effect that will outlive your own lifetime. You build relationships that last, and you leave a legacy that others will carry forward. In the end, it's not about how much you accumulate in life. It's about the lives you touch and the people you elevate. Leave them better, and you'll always be remembered. These 10 Stoic habits aren't just ways to make them miss you. They're ways to become unforgettable. Master your emotions. Live with purpose. Focus on virtue, not pleasure. If you can do that, they won't just miss you. They'll remember you forever. Which one of these habits speaks to you the most? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of Stoic wisdom. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and remember, you control how you live, and that's what makes you unforgettable.